Hello, fabulous students. This video is for my very beginning students. And this video also assumes that you have already learned the parts of the violin, the parts of the bow, how to hold the violin, and how to hold the bow. Because today we're talking about the poof. And it's an exercise, it's an open string exercise that focuses on pulling and pushing your bow from different parts of the bow with a good sound. So the goal of the poof is to listen for a good sound, but also um, you want to make sure your fingers are holding the bow correctly. And so let's get started. So we're going to begin with the poof on the A string. So but first, before I do that, there are three parts of the bow. You have the frog, which is here. This is the frog. And we have the middle. And then the tip is here. So for this exercise, we're going to work on three parts of the bow. First, from the middle to the tip, pulling and pushing from the middle to the tip, and then from the frog to the middle. And lastly, we'll do the whole bow. Now the whole bow poof is a little, I think of the three, that's the most challenging. But I want you to practice these at the beginning of your lessons. Make this your warm-up exercise when you're practicing at home. And you can always use open string exercises for anything. So even as you advance, we'll still go back to practicing something, some new skill on an open string. Okay, so we're going to start the left hand. You can just keep up in the high position. Make sure you're nice and relaxed here. And then we're going to set the bow at the middle. And you're going to make sure before you begin that your fingers are set correctly on the bow. Make sure your fingers are curvy. Your middle fingers are not up like this, but they're over the frog. Your index finger is laying over the stick here, over the grip. Your pinky is sitting, not pushing on the stick, but sitting nicely on top. And then your thumb, that very important part of your bow hold, your thumb, one of the important fingers, right, is your thumb. Make sure you're not pushing it up like this. This can cause pain because you're creating tension. You don't want any tension. You don't want any unnecessary tension, right? So make sure that thumb knuckle bump is touching the clip, right? So bump to the bump. Bump to the bump. I heard a teacher in a training class once say that, and I love that. Bump to the bump. So again, not like this, right? But here. And you should see that nice circle shape in your hand and your fingers. Okay. So those are the reminders. Now we're going to catch the bow hair, or I should say we're going to catch the string with our bow hair. So make sure, because we want to have a good sound. Let me show you what it sounds like when you don't catch the string. You hear that? It's not deep enough. That's the sound we do not want. So catch it, and the other sound we don't want is this. That's too heavy. You're adding this unnecessary pressure with your arm. We don't want that either. So come from here, the middle, and we're gonna poof down. And then, so the idea on that first catch of the string, give it a little pinch. You see what I'm doing with my finger here? With my index finger? And then release it. And be sure Not to touch the D string. So make sure your level is, your arm is on the A level if you're on the A string. And then you can roll it over to the D string and try it on D. And again from the middle to the tip. And then try it on the other strings too. And now we're going to go from the frog to the middle. And again, you want to listen for a deep, I call it a tuna fish tone. I say tuna fish because it's the big fish that swims deep, like way under the water. Not like the goldfish, that little fish that swims at the surface. Okay, so this is the goldfish sound. You hear that? It's on top. Oh, and did you see how my bow slipped? See, we don't want that either. That slipped like the water spider. We don't want that. We want a tuna fish. So again, set the bow, catch the bow into the string, and then pull it, and then push it. And then the last one is a hobo poof. This one is a little more challenging. You have to exercise such control in your arm so that the bow doesn't, slip or anything when you get to the tip. You don't want that. So again, just make sure controlling the bow. And then once you've gotten that down, we can add some variation to this by implementing travel bows. And a travel bow is when you're driving along and then you come to a stop sign and then you continue going the same direction. So like this. I'll start from the frog to the middle. I stop, and then I'm going to continue to travel in the same direction. Right, and this direction was down, right? Now we're going to go the other way, which is up. You see that? So and notice how light and loose my hand is, my wrist is, and my thumb. So make sure to stop and check. If you can do this in front of a mirror, even better. But stop and check. Make sure those fingers haven't fallen off the bow, or your fingers haven't begun to get tight. Okay, and then you could even add on, maybe do 4 of them. Okay, so those are exercises for your bow arm. Those are the poofs. Okay, so practice that, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you at our next lesson.